It is March 28th, and I'm wearing a sweater because it's Canada. Hi everyone, Fox is here, and I'm bringing you my weekly wrap-up. So last week I went to Montreal on Thursday night and I came back late on Sunday. Because of that, I didn't have much time to read, so my wrap-up is going to be really short. I did have a very good time in Montreal, and it was both fun and relaxing. I took a lot of pictures and videos as well. I hope to make some sort of vlogish type of video about Montreal. I hope I will make one, and I plan to post it on Sunday, which is upcoming Sunday, April the 3rd. I'm very proud of myself that I managed to upload video on Sunday, and when I was watching it this morning, I realized that for some reason there were no titles, and I'm pretty sure there were titles when I was exporting it, so I don't know what happened there. And I know that I probably didn't put a link into the description box as I promised, and I'm going to fix that very soon. I'm very sorry about that. I posted a video about my Filofax setup. If you're interested, please check it out. Well, without further ado, let's get started on books. As I mentioned, I didn't have much time to read during my trip in Montreal, but there's one graphic novel that I did read before I left for the trip, and that's Constantine volume number 2 called Blight. I was really excited about this volume just based on the cover. As you can see, there is Constantine and there is some superheroes in the background, and I got really excited, but unfortunately this volume didn't live up to my expectations. So what's happening in here is that the cult of cold fire is capturing people with magic abilities to drain them, to drain their powers, and Constantine has to assemble a new Justice League Dark from whoever is left, but he leads them right into a trap. Unfortunately, the plot itself wasn't as engaging as I expected it to be, and something else happened with art in this volume. It's a bit all over the place for me. There are some spreads which are really nice, and there are others which are, I don't know, they're just like horrible. I'm sorry, but there are some of them, like, look at that. He doesn't even look like himself anymore. I'm sorry if you're a fan of this series, but for me, like, look at the spread. This one is awesome, but there are so many others which are just not as good, and the plot itself had a lot of promise, but it didn't live up to expectations. It was a bit all over the place. And another thing is that there is a lot of internal monologues that we can see, like Constantine talking to himself. I don't know, it might have been a very good plot device, but it didn't work for me, and because the plot itself was not engaging, I gave this volume only 2 stars. I probably would have abandoned it, or like, you know, DNF'd it, or probably even gave it 1 star if it wasn't for one small detail, one spread, one moment, a flashback in which, spoiler alert, Constantine kisses another guy. I just decided to give it an extra star just because of that. Since I was on the go to Montreal and I didn't really have much time to read actual books, I did read one short story on my Kindle, which was Warm Up by V.E. Schwab. This story is connected to her novel Vicious that I read a week previously, and I really enjoyed it. So I gave the novel itself 4 or 4.5 stars, and this short story, according to Goodreads at least, is supposed to be prequel, but it's not. Just be careful if you haven't read the novel and you want to read this short story, which is called Warm Up, as I mentioned. It might spoil you some points of the plot of the actual novel, so please be careful. I would not recommend you read the story before you actually read the novel. Warm Up is a story about David who has a near-death experience and acquires superpowers. I really enjoyed Warm Up. I thought it was a very well-written short story. Since it's set in the same world as Vicious, I'm not going to talk about the plot because it will just spoil things for you guys, but I gave the story 3 stars. It was short and nice. There was another novella that I read on my Kindle, and it wasn't really good, to be honest. That's why I'm not going to mention the name of the author or the title of the book. I will link it down below in the description box if you're curious, but just please be aware it's a mature type of content. And unfortunately, I gave this book 2 stars. Probably it was a bit too much. It was well written, but the plot itself was really bad, and I mean, like, badly executed. And the main character, was so despicable. He was such a jerk. I couldn't wait to finish the book, so sorry, cannot recommend. One of the things that I absolutely love about traveling by train is that I can listen to an audiobook. And I had huge plans to listen to a huge chunk of The Night Manager by John le Carré, but I wasn't really in the mood for a spy novel, so I listened to up to 50% of the audiobook. The things are progressing really fast, a lot of stuff is happening, and I'm really enjoying it. It's just like I was not very much in the mood for this type of the novel. Still really enjoying it, and I hope to finish it sometime in the following few weeks, but since I don't have that much time during the work week to listen to an audiobook, really it's taken me quite a while to listen to it. There was one other audiobook that I listened to while I was in the train, and that was You See But You Do Not Observe by Robert J. Sawyer. That's a short story, part of the collection of The Improbable Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The story itself is a blend of a typical Sherlock Holmes story and a sci-fi story. I did enjoy the short story, even though it's based on probably one of the most popular Sherlock Holmes stories, and even though I did like all the sci-fi aspects of it, at the same time I was a bit disappointed by the author's choice. You know, there are so many spin-offs, there are so many pastiches, there are so many, oh my god, even fan fiction is based on this story. So I felt that it was not as original that I expected it to be. Nevertheless, since it's just one short story from the whole collection, I'm really looking forward to listening to more stories in this collection. This short story was given to me for free by Audible as part of my membership, but I do plan to purchase the whole collection, the whole audiobook. I give the short story 3 stars. Well, this is it, guys. As you can see, I didn't read that much last week as I expected to. Obviously, because I was on a trip, because I was in Montreal, because I was traveling. Nevertheless, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you read any of the books that I mentioned, and please let me know if you're looking forward to seeing my Montreal video that I hope to post this Sunday. If you celebrate Easter, happy belated Easter, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye! I'm so hungry that I cannot talk right now. I'm trying, but it's so hard. Okay. And it's about Sherlock Holmes. So it's again, I'm going away next week, and I don't even know what I will be doing next week because I will be away from Thursday to Sunday, so I will not be able to film. Observe, and it's part of the Improbable Stories, Improbable Adventures. Oh shit.